Well, it is Monday, Domain to Profit. I'm Drew Wash, and I am here to chat. Let's see, do we want to talk about domains or profit? Possibly using domains to profit. I like that idea. We should create a show like that. Okay, anyhow, well, I'm Drew Wash. This is Domain to Profit. We're going to be looking through expired domains today, and specifically with those expired domains, we want to use them, talk about ways that we can take domains and develop them into businesses. The basics. It's what we do around here. It's what we do. And I am looking and I am hoping that you, as someone watching a show called Domain to Profit, and as me, somebody who's trying to show and talk about using domains to develop them into businesses, I'm hoping that you're a true believer in the idea that a domain name can be turned into something that generates revenue. That a domain name is the perfect foundation for giving you an idea, to give you a platform to create. We're all called to create. I believe we are called to create. I think it's like our one purpose here on earth is to create stuff. I don't care if it's out of wood, don't care if it's out of grass, if it's out of stuff that falls out of trees, whatever it is, or ones and zeros and code and graphics, and we put it all on a domain name, develop something. It doesn't even have to make money. But because this is domain to profit, we do want to make money, and that's what we're out to do. So are you a true believer? Are you here because you want to develop a domain name? That's who I want here. Of course, we get plenty of domain investors and such. I buy domains to invest in them as well. Perfectly fine. But, pull that hat out of your, put on your developer's hat. Look at these domains from the perspective of not buying and selling, but instead, ooh, I could build something on that domain name. Ooh, I could put this on there, and I can sell this, or I could build something here and bring value to the world. Because today, I want to make sure that you are a developer. Be a developer. So if you haven't already, say hi in the chat. And make sure you've subscribed to the YouTube channel. I very much appreciate it. It's helping me meet my goals of reaching over 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 domain developing subscribers. So please, that you consider that part of who you are or who you want to become, somebody that develops domain names, develops something into a business that generates revenue, then please subscribe. Please, I'm just polite. I'm a Midwestern U.S. guy. Please, out of politeness, not out of begging. But, okay. Well, say hi in the chat. Let us know who all's here. This is Domain to Profit. Let's get this show started.
From domain to profit, from a dot-com to a business idea. Take a domain name, develop an income from domain to profit. We'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Wash and get started right now.
Oh my goodness. Hi. Do I crack anybody else up? I get such a kick out of the bull crap that comes out of my face sometimes. My wife used to find me funny. Every once in a while, I'll still get a little giggle out of her. So I'm sorry, I do crack myself up. But this is Domain to Profit. I see lots of highs and hellos here. I'm going to start all the way at the bottom here in this comment because Finland, I believe that's the first time I've seen a Finland show up in the chat. So I'm not 100%. I don't want to. I'm not sure if it would be Vile. But hi, welcome. Join us. Thank you for joining us all the way from Finland. And then, hey, Walter, how's it going? Lee, nice to have you, as well as T-Dye. Here we go. And then hi as well. And then Michael, thanks for first comment. Come on, peeps. Michael's always the first comment. He's like the victor. He's like gets the cup of comments. If there was such a thing, that would be him. So what we do here every single week, every single day, every single second, minute, domain names expire. The previous owner, for whatever reason, maybe they were bored, maybe they forgot what the heck they were doing, got busy with other things, maybe their credit card expired and they thought it would auto-renew. Whatever it is, their domains have expired to the tune of hundreds of thousands of domain names every single week, millions in fact, but we don't really deal with millions. We try to boil it down to just the few that we can really look at on GoDaddy. And we do all of this through a site that allows us to just scour through the many, many expired domain names for free, you all know that if you've been watching. It is this site over here. Ah, yes, expireddomains.net. I love this site. I appreciate them. Someday I'm going to buy them a beer. So anyhow, I'll drink something else, but anyhow, that's besides the point. Maybe we'll just have a cup of coffee, a latte. So here over on expireddomains.net, this is just a tool. You can find this data a lot of other places as well. However, this is just a nice way to be able to search through expired domain names and where we're going to go. So I kind of go over this each week. I'm going to try to run through it as quickly as possible. As you come in, yours probably won't be dark. In order to set up filters, you will need to set up a free user account. Mine is already set up. And then you go into this second tab here for marketplace domain names. These are going to be domain names that are coming up for auction. Many of the other deleted domains are going to be first come, first serve. It's a race to the finish to see who gets them. And then there's services like Dropcatch, which you'll find here. Dropcatch, where are you? Right here. Dropcatch will, some of the highly sought after ones, they put a lot of computer power into grabbing those domain names and then auctioning them. So marketplace domains is one of the main places to start your search for quality domain names that you can build a business on. And then the giant that is GoDaddy, hopefully they are up because, yeah, this is GoDaddy for me right now. They are 504, and then sometimes it's 503, and they're having all kinds of issues, which I hate to say this. I hate to say it, but you know, when you're buying these domain names, they're worth a good amount of money. I mean, I have a portfolio of well over $1 million in domain names. How do you feel about holding $1 million worth or more of domain names and get errors when you try to access them? Yeah. I don't keep many domains over at GoDaddy. However, they are the big guys, and we search through their domain names for the sake of their auctions because plenty of people have them there. Plenty of people let them expire to the tune of, here's what we have expiring this week, 414,000 domain names. And we are going to try to whittle that down to just a much smaller number. But then we're even going to look to even a smaller number than that. Let me see. Matt's saying they are not down for him. Michael's saying I have them on my end. So hopefully they have them back up. I'll have to refresh that, and we'll see what happens. Now the auction piece of GoDaddy was up. So that's this one here, which we'll look at this a little bit. Let me refresh to verify. So you will find that we access, if you want to see the expired domains and search directly through GoDaddy, you can go to auctions.godaddy.com, which you can see up in the top there. It's this auctions.godaddy.com, and you could search through all the domains. What you'll see is we will come from expired domains and click through over to GoDaddy. Expireddomains.net makes their money when we click and just give them that affiliate click. So please use that. Support that free service. Doesn't cost you anything more. Here we go. We're going to get rid of numbers. I don't want numbers in my domain names. I don't want hyphens in my domain names. I want to concentrate on English dictionary words. And we don't want too many words. I want 1 to 3 words. 1 to 3 words. I want to concentrate also on just the domain names we're going to get in the next week. So I'm ending in 7 days. And then I'm going to go up to this additional tab right here in the middle. And I want to make sure that we're just concentrating on .coms. Can you make money on other extensions? Sure. Can you build on any domain name out there, whether it has numbers, hyphens, alternative extensions, and so on? Yeah, you can build on any domain name. But what we're trying to do is concentrate on domain names that spell it out for us, that make it easy on us to build on them and to profit. So that is what we're going to concentrate on here. So when we pull this up the first time, I have it ordered by the GoDaddy valuation. This is something that when you view the GoDaddy domains, they make up a number based on a bunch of arbitrary things, but allows us to see which ones are considered most valuable on top. Just helps you, because look, we took that 400,000 down to 89,000, but that's still a lot of domain names. On the show, we're only going to be seeing 400 to 600 domain names. So it's just, how do we choose? Well, we've played many games, looked at them in different ways, but for the sake of this show, I do want to concentrate on the ones that seem to have the most value. Look at some of these prices over here. Wish I could zoom in on just a line or so. Override.com, $16,000 is what that's going for currently. I'll click on it so we can check the GoDaddy if it's popping up. We'll see what it looks like over on auctions. So override.com, $16,000, what it's going to cost you currently. That ends in over 6 days. So 6 days from now, that's going to be ending. And if it's $16,000 now, what do you think it's going to be in 6 days? I'm guessing big money. So as you can see, that estimated value in this case, way low. Override.com is a great domain name, great brandable. However, it doesn't. What do you expect to find on it? I don't know what you'd find on override.com. You can put anything on it. Therefore, it's not the kind of domain name that we necessarily concentrate on this show. Can you profit from it? Sure. But you can concentrate and you can make money from sports social easily as well. Like it requires you to build something that makes sense on that domain name. And override.com, great domain, but we're going to find even better ones for the sake of developing. Your Bet, I'm sure that one's going to go overpriced just because there's been a big push for bet and gambling domains. Simple Plan, ooh, look at that, $27,000. I usually don't spend much time on these expensive top ones, but I love the domain name simpleplan.com, but not for $27,000. Look at that. GoDaddy banned me or something. Not going to load. Come on. I believe in you, GoDaddy. I believe in you. It's like Peter Pan. We all need to believe. We all need to like snap our fingers and stuff, and then maybe GoDaddy's page will load. So do you believe? Do you believe? You have to really believe in your heart. Oh, wait. Here we go. You can do it. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Yep, I want to have all my portfolio over on GoDaddy because I trust them with all my domains. All I wanted to do was see what the price of the domain was, and GoDaddy's like, hey, Drew, we watch your show, we love it, and we want you to really work on improvising while you stare at a blank screen. And I believe that GoDaddy only has my best interests at heart, which is why they're doing this, to help me out. It really does. It's beautiful like that. What is Simple Plan is a band? Okay. See, that's why you got to have like trendy, awesome people in your chat, because they tell you that. And then let's see, what's this? Popular like 20 years ago. Okay, so maybe I should know who they are. I'm just not cool enough for that. Okay, so $27,000. GoDaddy brought this up for us. Thank you, GoDaddy. Ends in 1 day. $27,000. Yeah, there you go. All that just to look at the screen, see how many days it is. So that ends tomorrow, if for no other reason, Spectator, because that's not the kind of domain I'm looking for, to be quite honest. Let's go find something we are looking for. Here we go. Top speakers. Top speakers. I like this one. I like the word top to pair with something. Yeah, you can go with speakers as in audio products. I'm thinking more along the lines of the speakers, like if you need to a motivational speaker, which I know most speakers would. Oh my goodness, Godaddy, freaking load. Oh, this is so painful. It's painful. Okay. Here we go. So topspeakers.com. Yes, you can build on this a list of top speakers available, maybe by speaker size, by whatever it is, if you want to sell a physical product. I'm not a big fan of physical products. I want digital stuff. I want to do stuff that's just perfectly made for the internet. So yes, you can have a section that sells audio equipment. It makes sense there. That's what we like. It has authority for that. However, I like the idea of putting speakers, professional speakers that can come out to organizations and speak. These are going to be, like motivational speakers are one of them, but there's all kinds of speakers that maybe you want to have people that come onto your podcast or come to your group organization thing. You can have them all listed, ratings of past people that have seen them. You can have video clips. They can have profiles on the page itself. $255 right now, ending in 5 days. What would you put on top speakers? Maybe it goes with that simple plan that banned from the last domain name. Maybe they want to do something on it. I don't know. So I like top speakers. In fact, let me go do. I'm going to go and I'll place a bid on it whenever GoDaddy shows up. So we'll see. Antibody test. That's like big right now, right? Is that still a thing? People still testing for antibodies? Okay, back over to top speakers. Let's see if it'll let me place a bid. Oh, I've been outbid. Who are you, pal? There we go. I win. Don't bid me up. Okay, topspeakers.com. I like that one. Antibody test. So again, we're talking about a physical product. There was, I know with COVID stuff, a antibody test. I don't know if it's something that they have in a at-home kit, but if they do, you have the great domain name to resell it if you can find somebody that will let you sell it. So I think that one's pretty self-explanatory as far as what you want to do. Let's use that as an opportunity, though. I don't really know antibody test. Are we talking good traffic? Are we talking good search volume? Is there money to be made? This is where we'll take you over to spyfu.com. This is a free tool. You can pay for an upgraded version of it, but a lot of times we get what we need out of the free one. Antibody test. So we can type this in here and get some good information from, oh yeah, that's what I like to see. So here we go. 7,000 searches, or 7,000 is the 7,200 is the amount of traffic that Spyfu and their algorithm estimates is available to somebody ranking well for the search engines. That is, as you can see with the little question mark here, it is not the same as the total number of searches. Why is that? I talk about this each week. Here's GoDaddy is estimating the search volume at 870, and realistically, GoDaddy does all kinds of funky stuff with their traffic. They have, they'll be showing doctors' offices. They'll be showing all kinds of whatever it is GoDaddy, or not GoDaddy, whatever Google believes they can make money off of, they're going to show that in the ads and different things. So the numbers don't match up. Cost per click, $283. And this is going to be the issue with this is, do they even allow you to advertise for the keywords antibody test? Who can advertise for it? I know there's a lot of filtering and things like that. So I personally would avoid this like the plague. But you can see here, CVS antibody test, COVID antibody test. There's some good traffic. There's some good opportunity here for somebody that's in this space, has access to sell a test or profit from it in some way. That's not me, so I'm a big pass on that one. And I am going to go back out to this here. So that's how this works. So we're looking to expired domains. Somebody's letting that domain name expire, and it's an option for you to possibly purchase. And it occurred to me I should look to see if it's still, okay. It's at $1,400, ends in 2 days. So $1,400 ends in 2 days for you're in the antibody. Realmoms.com. Yes, I should have taken a breath in there between antibody test and Real Moms. So realmoms.com, tap to Fair Traders. Ooh, content curator. Kind of like that one. I don't know if it's really falls in the realm of content curator. So what I'm thinking on this one is the idea of content marketing is a thing to where a lot of those free downloads, give me your email, I'll give you a 12-page PDF research project or whatever else. All that is content marketing, and there's a lot of content on the web. Google tries to organize it and show whoever's highest paid on top, and then some natural search engine rankings. Ultimately, Google is a content curator. You could be one too. So maybe you target with this one, you build something out that allows people that create content for content marketing purposes to sell their content to other people in similar topics. Contentcurator.com. Come in, search a topic, find content that you can license out for your own website or for your own e-giveaways, which it's not a bad idea. I believe there's places that will let you do that, to where you can reuse some content. I don't know. There you go. I've not used it. But I know that there's a market there for sure. Some people just create content for the sake of selling it. They need contentcurator.com. I like the word curator, but I guess it's probably not going to have much if we typed it into Spyfu. But I am going to mark that as I'm going to watch that for later. This is a good point. Thanks for talking. I just want to talk. I'm pointing out this chat from Matt. But here's the key thing. One of the beauties of being here live, if you don't watch Domain to Profit live, you should, because the people in the chat are like huge. Like the wisdom that comes across, the questions you can ask. Yeah, I'll answer it, but others can answer it as well. Matt's just pointing out this important fact. Yeah, if you get antibodytest.com, you can pay big money for it, possibly profit from it right now. But it's a declining market. There's, it's not going to be at the high level that it is currently. Most likely it's going to be significantly. So the value of that domain name will likely be less in the future, which typically when we buy domains at auction, one of the beauties of buying a domain name at auction is, the price you paid is, 5% more than what you'll be able to resell it for. Somebody out there valued that domain name at the same level as you did. And, you should be able to liquidate the domain name for 10%, 20% less than what you paid. You won't have to worry about taking too big of a haircut. You will, if you have to liquidate the domain name. You probably won't be able to make money on it unless you wait a long time. However, you wait on this domain name specifically, and chances are it could be worth nothing. It could be worth a couple $100 or something. So just keep that in mind. Thanks for bringing that up, Matt, which it is a good thing to point out. So anytime you have any tips of wisdom that you want to share with the community, we're kind of, speaking of antibody COVID stuff, we're all in this together, people. Together as a community, we can all be better. So I got a oh boy from my wife on that one. Here we go. hehehaha.com. I'm not going to buy that one. I actually don't buy as many domains as what I used to. I say that, and I do spend thousands on a typical week on domain names still, but I go for quality, not quantity, which actually I believe Lee posted a Lee, who's in the chat here, he posted that he was letting a lot of his domains expire because he's going for quality over quantity as well, which is I highly recommend. Go for the ones, save your money for the ones that are just like home runs, especially if you're passionate about the industry and really want to do something with it. That's when it's like all in. That's when you do things like I did, which was mortgage my house, fly out to California and buy towing.com. I had an in, I kind of knew the industry, I knew I was onto something, I was all in. Certainly don't want to do that for every single domain name you see, unless you have lots and lots of houses, which in that case, maybe you should pay cash instead of mortgaging your house. Not financial advice, but seems like common sense to me. I guess that is financial advice. Don't mortgage your house. Pretty good idea for business is don't do anything that's going to have you living out of your car if you fail. There's too many opportunities out here. Credit busters and codes kings. So here's just that opportunity to talk about that middle S. So if you're joining us, if English is not your primary language, you might see this domain name, think it's great, but I will tell you it's garbage. Code King, that's a pretty okay domain. Codes with a middle S, that middle S kills it. It kills it. That is a garbage domain name. It's a trick, and you should avoid it. Make sure if you are going to look at a domain name with a middle S, you are typing it into Spyfu. Do not go with your gut. Your gut is probably wrong. There are occasions, but scrutinize. Don't just put in some bid. You'll end up like me paying a bunch of money for domain names that really aren't worth much. It's a lesson I've learned by paying for experience. I don't know, let's see here. I kind of like this one, Express Auto Glass. Could be worth something. That's more of a brand, though. I'm not really a big fan of brand. I'll mark it. I might research that one later because I do have glassrepair.com. That one's one of ours. I've not mentioned it, but if you see a domain name that you like, but I'm skipping over, well, assuming, I know some of you don't want to, you may not want to share out with the domains that you like. If you see a domain name that you are okay with me drawing attention to, that you think is good, that I'm skipping over, feel free to bring it up because I do want to, I can tell you why I'm skipping over it. Some cases, I might just be skipping over the domain name because I didn't notice it. Other cases, it might be garbage for some reason. So if you want to get my public opinion on a domain name during the show live is when to do that. I get a lot of messages from people that are kind of like, hey, what do you think of this one? Saw this one. I want to have those conversations publicly. I do this for all of us as a community, not I don't even have a way that you can pay me per hour or anything. I don't know, not really my thing. I want to help you in the community develop more domain names. That is the priority. So yeah. I feel like we struck out on the bottom half of that list. I mean, there's some good ones in there, but not really anything to write home about. So on to the next page. So 30 minutes in, we're on to page 2. So maybe we'll possibly get to up to 600 domains today. We'll see. Some weeks we get a lot of great domains. I mean, there's a lot of great domains at the top of the list. That's why there's those first 3 or 4 domains are, close to $100,000 being spent on them. Study room. These are fun-ish domains, but pods. Okay, give me something. Give me something expired domains. So the domains that I typically especially like looking for are industry-defining domain names. Domains that when you read it, it describes something that just makes sense. Wildlife landscapes, for example. What do you expect to find on wildlife landscapes? Well, maybe landscapes that that attract wildlife. I don't know. We're looking for those generic domain names. But we want those generic domain names to also make sense to a lot of people, because the more people they make sense to, and the more searches they have, the more valuable the domain name is. Here's my laptop running at about 1,000 miles an hour. Like really warm too. Yes, I stream from a laptop. I'm like super old school, peeps. Not even, I have a new laptop, but too lazy to set it up for the stream. Actually, it was having problems running the software. Come on. Usually in this, we're probably right around the $3,000 mark. Oh, we're under 2 already, or right around 2. Right in here is where you start to find some good domain names that a lot of domainers are lazy. And by domainers, people that buy domains for the sake of selling them. And if you keep going down this list, just because GoDaddy doesn't value it doesn't mean it's not a good domain name. So you can find some really good deals, $100 domain name that can do some good stuff. Oh yeah, damn. We just went to that in 4 minutes. Consumer help desk. I mean, you can hear that domain name, think of about 1,000 different ways to use it. It makes sense. What could you put on consumer help desk? Well, you can put different tools that help people get in contact with customer service numbers, track trouble tickets and things like that. I have zero interest in that. But if that's for you, consumerhelpdesk.com. Like, you can be a consumer advocate using that domain name and a couple tools, and who knows how you make money. I have no idea. I don't know how you make money. Sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it's just about creating. I prefer it to make money, though. Let's see, Matt is adding, I was looking at American Dealers and Sneaker Seeker. Ooh, Sneaker Seeker is just a good brand. Sounds like fun. Especially nowadays that they have all these sneakers and things. Sneakers. Do people still call them sneakers? Anyhow. But the idea of, like, freaking these shoes that are, in some cases, one-of-a-kind artwork. If you're looking for that, you need a place to create their market that allows people to look through and find shoes. So, in fact, I know somebody that their daughter buys shoes, cleans them up really good, and then sells them as, like, so they'll buy like collector type shoes that she cleans them up and resells them. And I guess there's a whole big old market for this that I'm not aware of, but she is, and she makes good money doing it. So there you go. So that's an option. So maybe I need to point out to her sneakerseeker.com. Sneaker Seeker. I love the name. It's a tongue twister. What is that? Alliteration? Is that what that's called? So just to kind of reiterate here, we are on expireddomains.net, the free search tool. And we went to the marketplace tab, and then we are on GD Domains, which is GoDaddy Domains. And we are just searching down through expired domain names. All these domain names are domains that are currently expiring. And we're like rooting through the trash that is expired domains. Somebody else is out there discarding these. They're just like letting them go. And sometimes we can find treasure. Sometimes. Actually, most of the time we can. There's that middle S, jobs funding. It just kills it. Okay. That's a bad thing. We don't want the middle S. Wow, these are just a bunch of random ass words put together. Mortgage quotes online. Mortgage quotes online. So there's a little bit of a middle S, and online also is a garbage, like nobody says online anymore. But let's just see what happens here. Mortgage quotes online. Let's just see what the search volume is. I know that the mortgage industry is big money. So if you needed a domain name or looking for a domain name that gives you a beachhead, a way to attack a larger industry, there's no way that, normal people cannot purchase mortgage.com or mortgagequotes.com even. These are going to be really, really expensive domain names. But if you want to attack that industry, maybe you're a small mortgage broker or something, Mortgage Quotes Online is a pretty good domain name for you to do that. There's a little bit of search volume, not much. But let's scroll down. My gut says, yeah, this is what I was thinking. So this is what we like to see. The ideal domain name has a lot of traffic available. But then when we get down here to this other Google data, we want to see the cost per click very high, which $16 is certainly very high. That's possibly the highest I've seen on here. And then we want to see the number of advertisers high as well, double digits or more. So 10 or more. That means that what this is saying is there's 21 people, 21 companies paying Google a lot of money, up to $16, to reach the traffic that this domain name represents. So just think about what that means. So you could call 21 people and be like, hey, I'm mortgagequotesonline.com, and we're putting together a place where exclusive 3 companies can show up, and we can feature your company, profile your company on here, and we charge you $250 a month. And that's it. You get it. You don't pay us per quote or anything like that. It's just a marketing clout or authority or whatnot. And out of 21 people, if you're calling these people that are paying $16 a month, do you think you'd have a likelihood of finding 3 of them, 2 of them, 1 of them, 5 of them, 10 of them that are willing to pay you to be featured on a domain name that they're paying up to $16 a click to appear on? The answer is yes. You could find people. So now you got to build that domain. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. I love seeing it when we have good search volume, 130 searches or that's not a lot of searches, but it's not a bad one. This is a starter type of domain. This is going to be something that, let's find out. Let me click on it before I make my next claim, which is this is going to be something you can get usually for less. So GoDaddy estimated value $2,000, 6 days left on this domain name. This one, I imagine you wouldn't want to go above $200 on it. But if you can get this domain name for less than $200, why not? You can do something really simple. You can put it up on essentially a one-page website that gives each section, feature your company here. You make some calls, send out a couple emails, find that first company, maybe offer them, I don't know, maybe you want to put first place, second place, third place arbitrarily on the site, whatever it is. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. The key is you're using a good domain name. So now when you're calling those companies, looking for somebody to pay you to be featured on here, you no longer have to be like, yes, I'm Joe with xyzmortgage123.net, and we want to feature your company. Now you're like, boom, a mortgagequotesonline.com, and I want to talk to you about featuring your company. Your authority, your level of like get your foot in the door goes through the roof. Like now you can do that. So get that below $200, put up a basic website, ideally at some kind of template with some good graphics, and ask for $100, $200, $300 a month. You'll be able to find some of those companies. I believe you would be able to find some companies. Yes, there's legwork, there's work involved in it, but would you do it for $1,200 a year, $2,400 a year, $3,600 a year? Passive income to where you kind of don't have to do much, just reoccurring transaction on your Stripe or PayPal account or whatever it is. And yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game. So that's what we're looking for. Mortgage quotes online. And if it doesn't go for a little bit, I'll buy that sinking thing, rent it out to somebody. The funding agency. I don't like the in front of things. I avoid the. One of the first domain names I purchased had the at the beginning of it, and it just was such a freaking nightmare trying to tell people the domain name. The is okay, like Facebook was the Facebook, right? But they of course got rid of it. They made some money and stuff and could afford it. So in general, though, don't get the. You're always going to be wishing you can get rid of it. Email land. For some reason, that kind of cracks me up. I picture that as a silly online game type thing. Okay, video slide. I don't know, is that a thing? Like slides that are videos for PowerPoint. Let's go check Spyfu. Let's go check. This is the thing. I can't trust my gut. It might be a thing. It might not be a thing. It's not a thing. How to embed video into Google Slides. So there's a couple people searching for it. You can't always go with your gut. My gut said it was nothing, but you got to check. So what I was looking for, let me just kind of go back to that a second. I was looking to see, are people searching for it? And then when I did not see that people were searching for the exact keyword, I looked over here to see if there was a similar keyword that they were searching for. And you can see they're not really saying video slide. They're looking to add a video to a slide, which is just different. So once I saw that those two things were not there, they didn't matter, I was out of there. So I think it's important to kind of see why I was passing on that domain name. Okay. So this is a good question that Walter is asking. And to be quite honest, Walter, when you're asking, so I'll go back over to Spyfu. He's asking, what's the difference between Spyfu's search volume and Google's? And the best thing I could do is kind of point you to this question mark here, where Spyfu talks about it a little bit. It says the number of searches done this past month across the US on Google. We blend data from multiple sources to get a better snapshot of search activity for this keyword. So long story short, they're trying to actually give you data that is helpful and accurate to what you could do if you ranked well for that keyword. Some cases, that number is higher than Google, meaning it is like maybe other sites, search engines might get more traffic. Sometimes Google will take a keyword and send the traffic to a different keyword. So you can't expect Google, like that's what the case was with the other. We looked at a domain name just recently. The key was the antibody test, I believe. That would make sense. So they're sending a search for antibody test over to the Google COVID page. However, Spyfu says well, look at all this search traffic for this specific keyword. This is actually going to generate more searches than that. So GoDaddy, too many damn geo names. So Google is sending traffic over to someplace else. Anything related to COVID, they're sending it all to a special COVID section. They viewed it as a COVID keyword, so they're sending it over there. In most cases, the search volume on GoDaddy, gosh, on Google, in most cases, it's higher. So Google is saying 1,600 searches for video slide. And then up here, Spyfu is saying, no, it's like 40. Why is that? Let me just go over here and I'll kind of show you. It could be any number of different things, but what Spyfu is estimating is, look at this, add, videos. So if you ranked #1 for the keyword video slide, you took videoslide.com and you turn it into a great site, you will not show up above the fold, right? Do you understand? Like, so you have to scroll all the way down here. So we have ads, then videos, then people asked, and then finally we get down to the first ranking here. So what Spyfu is trying to do is help you. If you base it on Google's data, you'll think, oh, there's 1,900 searches. That's a better keyword than what it is. Spyfu is saying, yeah. It's 1,900 searches, but you only have a chance at 40 of them because Google is packing this keyword with ads and FAQs and videos and all those different things. It's very helpful. It's one of the reasons I use Spyfu instead of other tools, is their estimates are much more accurate. For example, let me use towing, which is a near and dear keyword to my heart. And you'll see 23,000 is what they're estimating the monthly search volume is. But if you go down here and you look at Google, Google's like, oh, for 165,000 searches. There's not 165,000 searches available. That's like way overestimated. Now I can tell you, because we rank well and do well for towing, it's actually more than this, but it's probably like 30,000, 32,000. So what's that big difference between what GoDaddy says and what Spyfu says? Well, Spyfu is more accurate than Google. Keep saying GoDaddy. It's like, but you all know by this point what the heck I'm saying, hopefully. So why does that number even for towing appear? Again, if we just go over to Google and we search for towing, not towing.com, just towing. So if we search on Google for towing, here we go again, all these ads. Then we have all these local things. And then we do have an actual organic search ranking, which they're a customer of ours that we help show up there, which makes me happy. But yeah, so there you go. That's pretty much what's happening, is all this nonsense, all this drama that's happening on that Google page, Spyfu is saying, yeah, that it takes away from it. So that's what that's, applying. That's why that Spyfu number is very helpful when we're trying to value a domain name, especially. Helps you avoid mistakes. Like, there's times when, you see how many searches towing gets, and you think, oh my goodness, that you must be getting hundreds of thousands of new searches every single month. It's kind of like, nah, it's not that easy. Like, Google has a zillion ads, a zillion map things, all that above the natural rankings anymore. So if you try to use a domain name to get a search engine advantage, it basically, that advantage is going to be weighed down quite significantly. Basically, Google is not our friend anymore. But that does create, and let me just take this for a minute to say this, it creates a new opportunity for domain names. There are many small businesses out there that are way left behind by the fact that if they do not pay Google, they don't get a chance to get traffic. So if you're for example, a plumber or an electrician or any number of different local businesses, yeah, there's a ton of search traffic out there, but if you're not paying to be an ad at the top, realistically, that search traffic has trouble getting to your local company. What we can do, and one of the reasons why I advocate and I ask you, please develop your domain names. And I say this to myself as well, develop the domain names. We need to develop them because what we are doing is providing small businesses a path to get traffic that is an alternative to Google. So now it's not just Google, the all-powerful Google controlling the traffic. Now plumbers can be like, hey, find us on plumbers.com, and people can go to plumbers.com and do business with them directly without paying for ads and sharing percentage of deals and things with that. Google's entire purpose is to take as much money, as much revenue as they can, and that's their goal. That's their business. They're there to make money, except for they make that money on the backs of these service providers and small local businesses. And as domain developers, we have the opportunity to come beside small businesses and help them compete with Google, help them to not have to turn over some percentage of their business over to Big Daddy. That's why my heart is here telling you, telling myself, pushing myself constantly to develop these domain names and not just hold on to them for some rainy day. We need to develop them for the sake of helping small businesses compete with Google. Like we're like the only hope, guys. Like domain developers are the hope of small business. So we need to do the work. So when we see an opportunity, we need to do the work to get that domain name to be a path to help small businesses. So there you go. That's one of the things I've really noticed is how much Google has turned into. They're just not they're not a friend of small business. They're a friend of Google. Google's out for Google, not for you, not for me. Honestly, is Google even out for you as a searcher? Do you see the best results on Google? I don't think so. I think you're much better off searching towing.com for a towing company. I show you on towing.com the towing company that's closest to where you're standing. Not the one that pays me the most, not the one that I arbitrarily decided to show you, but the one that's closest with the call button direct to the company right there. I don't know. I just feel like if we all kind of took that and just did it, we could really strike a blow to Google and help a lot of small businesses, and in general just kind of improve the world a little bit. Okay. Do it for the kids, because kids.com. My pot guy. Who's my pot guy? I'm drugguy.com. I think I'm drug guy, drugguy.com, drugman.com on that as well. Okay, so while I'm on this rant of Google stuff, look at this. Let me show you. Let's see if this shows up. So this is one of the things that, and T-Dye's mentioning paintball stats. Kind of, I'll have to look up that one. That one let me come right back to that one. We'll end on paintball stats. Like you do a search for movers, there's certain keywords for local companies that Google's doing this thing right here. Look at this. These up here are sponsored ads that Google can charge per click, per lead, per order. They're rolling out all new systems constantly trying to take as much money, make as much revenue as possible from local companies. So movers is one of those areas, one of those industries, which I know because we work in moving, that they are essentially like, how many ads do you see on this page? Like, we're just looking at the very top, all these ads right here. Well, this one's per click, and then these are movers nearby. So they're competing on movers nearby. However, these are not the nearest movers to you or your zip code. Instead, these are who pays to be listed there, and then they can charge these people are probably paying every time you hover over their click or over their phone number, and then when you click on it, they're charging per call. So now they're giving up more money to Google. Google is trying to find ways to. Is that okay? I don't know. I'm glad that Google is helping these companies get money, but you know what? They used to make money when it was just a directory and they just did a search engine. You know, yeah, okay. Alrighty, so let me jump back in here and see if I can find the paintball one. Paintball stats. So I do. Thanks for bringing this one up, T-Dye, because I do actually. Every time I play paintball, I always think it's like laser tag. You know, it goes hand in hand with the idea of stats. See if anybody else thinks that as well. So you want to create a new way of looking at paintball. Put together a leaderboard. You know, put something together that you can build. You can create a little tool that ranks people, ranks players, number of times they've played, number of paintballs they purchase and then shoot, or whatever you can measure. You measure. You put it up on a site like paintballstats.com. Build some cool traffic because people want to know that stuff and report that stuff. But then that is your beachhead. That's your entry into the paintball industry. So now you can start to put together local searches of places you can go play paintball. You can sell paintball products, all those different things. This is just your beachhead. This is just one of the places that you can do it. Because obviously 28 searches, you have to build this up on your own. There's nobody out there currently really doing much with it. Pro paintball stats. Again, it's just 40. There's really not much happening with it. But if you're into paintball and you can create a tool, there'd probably be some pretty cool stuff that's happening with it. So I like those little, those beachheads, those opportunities to kind of enter into some industry. You know, I got lucky. I mean, 2007 is when we bought towing.com. Prior to that, I bought autotowing.com. That was my beachhead. That was my starter domain name in the towing industry. Used that, was able to proof of concept a couple ideas. And then from there, I knew that we could take the risk of purchasing the six-figure $175,000 towing.com. You don't go and try to purchase paintball.com or paintballs.com or whatever else that is certain to be a high five-figure, maybe even six-figure domain name. If you don't have a step into that industry, no matter what, when you purchase a domain name, you're going to be starting kind of at zero. You have to start fresh. The better the domain name, yes, the better the start. But whether it's paintballstats.com or paintball.com, yes, paintball is going to give you a better start, but you can still start. Like if it's a new industry, you don't know what's going on, go buy a domain name that's going to be $20, $80, $100 versus going all in on a domain name and then learning a lot of hard lessons while you have a few $1,000s a month payment to cover. So that's kind of the thought on that one. Well, it's been an hour. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Domain developers out there, did we find anything good today? I think the best thing, mortgage quotes online. I thought we came up with some good stuff for that one. Outside of that, I really wasn't finding any home runs. Now, what you can do, if you want to be an overachiever, you go and you continue that search. We made it to page 4 out of like 400 pages of those filtered results. You keep going. If nothing else, you practice seeing the domain names. Find one that you're like, oh, I like that one. And I'm asked this pretty frequently. How do I know which ones are good? Well, you have to develop that gut. But even when you have a gut, even when you have 20 plus years experience like me, I still have to test my gut. I still make major mistakes. You have to use tools like Spyfu and the other ones that I have over on domaintoprofit.com under tools. I have all kinds of free tools and some paid ones and different things all listed there. Those are all the tools that I use. And as I find a new one, I update it over there. So if you've never been to Domain to Profit, go there. You can subscribe to the mailing list, get notified each week. But then under tools, there's all the tools. There's trends.google.com. Use that one. Spyfu's listed there. SEMrush, we used to use that one, but I use Spyfu primarily nowadays. Expireddomains.net. Not sure what domain I'm saying when I say that. Just go out there and you can link to that. All of those are out there. Some of them are affiliate links. I think some of them are affiliate links. So if they're if they have an affiliate program, I have an affiliate link. So you can use them and support the show in some way. Although realistically, we don't really do much with it. But okay, there we go. Domain to Profit. I'm Drew Wash. I appreciate you all of you domain developers that come and chat. Thank you all for your comments and questions and bringing up domain names. And all together, we're learning, we're figuring out how to better develop domain names, whether it's to help small businesses and take on Google or to just create a life for ourselves that creates that passive income that we can maybe someday sit on a beach and have a cocktail and listen to the waves roll in, if that's what you want to do. Although, honestly, I just want to create more stuff. I just want to do more. So thanks for joining me. Search for those domains, develop them. Let's take on Google. Let's take on the big guys. Just be a domain developer out to do cool things. I appreciate you. I'll see you next Monday. I'm Drew Wash, Domain to Profit. Take care.